And if we put a debugger inside of plot points in our console, we'll see that data looks exactly like the data we've worked with our scatter plot. But for this next step of drawing our map, we're going to need to group our games by the year they were held, since to start we're going to compare the total attendance from one year of the World Cup to the next. As I mentioned previously, D3 has some great functionality to manipulate data. To do this, we can use the D3 function nest, which does exactly what we need. Rather, groups our data and performs some aggregation on that. I don't want to spend too much time getting into the specifics of all the possibilities of what can be done with the nest function, but I'll cover the basics that we'll be using for our map example. The nest function has two main pieces. As you can see here, we call a .key function and a .rollup function on the nest object. In order to specify how you want to group your data, you use the key function and you pass it an accessor callback. In this case, I've left it empty, but whatever this callback returns is the value that nest groups by. And once you have your data grouped in some way, you need to aggregate it in some meaningful fashion, which is where the rollup function comes into play. The rollup accessor function is slightly different than the key accessor function in that it gets past what I've called here leaves, or rather a nested and hierarchical set of our data organized by the group we previously specified. And the last function call here simply passes our data through this nest pipeline.